Good evening. A warm welcome to you all. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. You're in for some inspiration, education, fun, and there's nothing like a few laughs, is there? I know today you have so many choices of where you could be right now. You could be watching some crazy Netflix thing, but you've chosen to be with me. And I truly hope that it's worth your while this evening. In the chat, please do let me know. Where are you located? And let me also know, hi, Christy, Laurie, who's Stephanie. We've got here, let's see, Lisa, Salvatore, how wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. Don, Carmen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Jenny, great to have you all here in the house. I have Patricia in the background. She's here to support you. Any questions that you have, we will be opening up our concierge. So at any point you want to ask a question, we'll give you that link so that you can either ask a question or whatever that may be. Tonight's your night. Are you ready? So as we dive into tonight's subject, this is what it's going to be. I do have a guest that's going to be joining me a little bit later on, but until she joins, let's just dive into our subject matter tonight. How to make your clients fall in love with you. I've been in situations where I couldn't get rid of some of them. I've fired clients. I've been challenged by clients, and I've loved clients. So this is the way it is, isn't it? We either have an easy client, a delight to work with, and she's got nightmare hair, or she's a nightmare personality, but she's got fantastic hair. And every so often, the stars are in alignment. It's a great client with great hair, right? So I don't know what it is right now, but it seems like everyone wants to look like Barbie doll. It seems like there's not too much of a difference between a 16-year-old's hairstyle and a 65-year-old lady's hairstyle. And it's funny, I was thinking, when I was a kid, as much as I love my mum and I love my granny, I never wanted a hairstyle like them. I wanted my own generation of look. So it's strange how it's all got morphed together. So I'm going to be talking tonight about your creativity. I'm going to be talking to you tonight about how you can really get the kinds that you want sitting in your chair, and how you can not feel like a puppet with your client pulling your strings. How does that sound? We're going to really go through some really great stuff. I do have a demonstration to share with you, which is so cute and so easy to do that you could put this on a lot of your long-haired clients. I would say it's going to be in the younger category, anything from 16 to mid-30s. That would be the category of where I'm going tonight. But we can always modify it, can't we, right? And so let's dive into our subject. And any questions you have, please do fire away with those questions. So let's take a look. Where's my little button? Here it is. So we're going to look at, first of all, the mindset. And there are 4 different types of hairdressers we're going to be talking about tonight. And guilty, I'm all for, but one of them is slowly dying, but it's been a long process. So let's look at them all. So really tonight it's a little bit about my life, and I'm hoping that the lessons I've learned will help you either avoid or get out of that challenge not in a short period of time, right? So let's first of all look at the entertainer. The entertainer, you want the client to have a great experience and feel pampered, but if you focus so much on entertaining, you may find yourself distracted, improvising, and feeling like the results are mediocre. What if the client feels that way too? Yes, the client may have had a great experience, but may not be happy with her hair. Did we train the client to settle and lower her expectations? And the big question is, will she come back? So we all understand that we want to be a great host. We all understand that we want to kind of be entertaining in some shape or form. Some of you may have a big personality, and some of you may have come into this industry quite shy. I was incredibly shy when I came into this business, and I used to hide in a little corner. I wouldn't want anyone to know what I was doing. And one day, the director of Vidal Sassoons in London said, why are you hiding back here? And I said, well, no, I'm fine. I'm happy. Would you like someone to assist you? Oh, no one to assist me, because that meant someone will be looking at me work. And I said, I'm okay. And he was like, I don't think so. Anyway, time passed by and he said, you're going to go to the school. I went, why? Have I done something wrong? He said, no. He said, I think you're going to shine in front of an audience. I went, no. I just like one client at a time. I'm actually shy. I'm really scared. Don't have much confidence. Really happy standing in my little corner. Thank you very much. Bye. And he went, no, you're not. And I went, oh no, what's going to happen? And within a short period of time, I was standing on huge stages in London. And I remember one time I went onto the stage. I saw my face, which is scary, so huge on this screen. My freckles looked like craters of the moon. It was like, oh my God, look at my face. It's huge. But it got worse. I hold the section of hair. I am so nervous, my hand's doing this. So on a massive screen, it looks even worse. And I'm shaking and shaking and thinking, I am so terrified. What am I doing here? I need to be in my little corner. I don't want to entertain anybody. How many of you can relate to a little tiny bit of what I'm saying? I had a friend say to me, Viv, I'm so tired of entertaining my guests. It's been 30 years. I'm exhausted. I just want to do my work. And I said, well, then why don't you? She said, oh, no, they expect to be entertained. I went, no. We can train our clients. We can educate our clients. We can train our clients. So the question is, how many of you tonight are entertainers? Are there a few entertainers in the house? Well, let's talk about the technician. Let me know if you are. Let me know if you relate to this. Just give me a thumbs up, right? The technician, like a Swiss watch, you were made with perfection and discipline. You don't make mistakes. You follow a map and are systematic with a laser focus. But what if you miss looking at the big picture? Will she come back? So when I was trying to be a good hairdresser, I was obsessed with my sections, obsessed with the lines, obsessed. Looking here, 90% of the time at the line between my fingers, the detail, and only at the end, really looking at the big picture, which sometimes I'd look in the mirror and go, ooh. And I was scared to look into my mirror, because if I looked into the mirror and I saw the look in her eyes of, what is she doing? That would have completely thrown me. So I decided the mirror is the enemy. Just do the haircut. Don't look at her. And hopefully it'll turn out okay. So I then started to realize hope's not a really good strategy in business. Right? How many of you relate to what I'm saying? Give me a yes or a no in the chat. Come on. So anyway, I was so obsessed with being technically correct, I missed the big picture. So I went from trying to entertain to compensate for a lack of confidence. I then went into being very, very, very technical, because I thought if I craft a really good haircut, that's how I will make her happy. And at the end of the day, I was searching for, how do I make a client happy? And it just gets worse. So we're just warming up here. So now let's look at the next one as we go from will she come back to the emotional artist. You love being spontaneous. And when it comes to designing hair, you are driven by creativity, passion, and inspiration. But what do you do on the days when you're not inspired? So this is always the challenge, isn't it? When inspiration comes your way, everything just flows. It's just so natural. And I'm sure every single one of you here tonight has had that moment where you felt so inspired. You had energy, you had excitement. But what about that time when the stars are not in alignment? What do you lean into? So that becomes a huge challenge as well, doesn't it? Where the artistry is either crushed by the technique, or the artistry is crushed by the entertainer. And it doesn't have room to express itself. Or fear. What if it doesn't work? Fear. What if she doesn't like it or get in the way? So we go and settle and get comfortable. We go back to entertaining or get really technical again, right? We all have our safe place where we like to work. So the question is, if we are just the artist, will she come back? And then, of course, the most scary one of all, the puppet. You want to please your client at any cost. And like a waiter, you take the order saying, what are we doing today? But When you are programmed to say yes, you could be compromising what is truly best for your client by playing it safe. And the question is, will she come back? So when we look at these 3 traits, I want you to think about this. Just imagine there's 4 of you at a table and you're being entertained by myself. And I've got all 4 of you at the table. So I've got Sal, the entertainer, and I've got Stephanie, the artist, and I've got Laurie, the technician, and I have got Carmen, the puppet, and you're all there, right? But just imagine now if it was you multiplied by 4. And the entertainer's taken over the conversation. And the technician's saying, I really want to say something right now. I really do, but I can't get in. And then what about when the technician gets into his groove and talking about the angles and the precision and the formula, and the artist saying, ooh, 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 but I want to express myself. I mean, no. I'm talking about it technically. When one dominates, the other don't have room to be expressed, right? And we're going to talk about how you can find balance. So the big thing is what we want to actually aim for is, yes, be entertaining, of course, as part of your woo. Yes, have strong technical skills. Yes, give your space to artistry, but try and avoid as much as you can being the puppet, because the puppet is when that client is pulling your strings and you compromise and compromise. And how can you enjoy the craft when you compromise? You can't. You can't. You can only flourish when you're in that ideal place. So I'm going to talk to you about how you train yourself first and then how you start to train your clients. And we've had some remarkable results from this, as you will hear when Sarah joins us tonight. So any of this sounds familiar to you, clearly you are in the right place. So Sarah's going to be joining us a little later on. She's a graduate of my program, and her story is extraordinary, and it's best told by Sarah. So I just want to let you know that she's coming later on tonight. This is kind of interesting. This is Colette, who's also a graduate. My business has exploded. Statistically, the average salon retains 35% of their clients. I can boast that I have an average of 85% retention within the last year. Not only did I grow my business 40%, but the people are coming back all due to my education from the hair designer program. It has been life-changing, and statistics don't lie. And so this is Colette, who is a member of one of my programs and over 35 years experience in the business. And how lovely that she's now having her 6-figure income, but how sad for the decades where she struggled for decades and decades, and I actually helped transform her business within 10 months. So that's pretty exciting. So I know that the gatekeeper to everything we do is the consultation. But what if your consultation is out of balance? And what if you rush through certain things, or if you're the entertainer, you're just bypassing it, or the technician, you're not looking at the big picture, or the artist is not analyzing the hair, and the puppet saying, well, what do you want me to do? How much? Oh, you want 1 layer? Where's that 1 layer going to sit? Don't you just love that when the client says, I want 1 layer? I don't know what a 1 layer haircut is, right? So the bumpy wheel. Let's take a closer look at this. So for some, the face shape's not so important because you're so focused on the hair. You drop down a bit. For some, you don't ever look at the body type until she's walking to reception and paying. And you go, oh, that's a bit too short for her body type. Age, sensitive to the age, able to say that's not age appropriate or it is age appropriate. As we go around this wheel, we can see that there are kinks and there are bumps, the sensuality of the hairstyle, the budget, the time, the confidence. The wheel is turning and turning, but how can it flow through your day when it's a bumpy old wheel? What we ultimately need to do is create a wheel that's very smooth. So I spent 40 years trying to refine my wheel and try and give equal value to each aspect of what's important in a woman's life. And how I have done this is so simple. I've automated it. I have a consultation form that I use. The client fills it out and it goes over every single one of these points. It's a dive into her values. It's a dive into so many aspects of her life. She's filling out the consultation form on her time, not my time. So by the time she comes to me, I train people how to do this. I review and I'm looking for the red light. Don't go there. Amber, maybe. And then the green light. And I design from greens and I start to build from there. So the consultation form does all the heavy lifting. It's consistent because it's a form. The client gets to fill it out either before she's even come into the salon or when she's at the salon. And that makes it so super, super exciting. So by doing that heavy lifting, the form is earning its keep, the form is doing the work, and the form is doing all of this. So you may be thinking, well, why listen to me? I'm sure there's people here that think, who is this crazy English lady? I don't know. I think my name is Simon and I like to draw. Anyway, I've had a great career and it's been an amazing journey. During my career, I've been fortunate enough to spend my time divided between photo shoots, doing fashion shows, Paris, New York, London, shows all around the world, seminars, workshops. I've developed training programs for some of the most major product companies and some of the most major hair companies, helping them build their brand. My love is to educate, to see hairdressers grow. I love everything from dressing and styling hair through to hair cutting. And that's where my expertise lies, in looking at the total look of a person and making sure that I'm never boring, that I'm always pushing myself to try and think of innovation and new ideas, because I came into this industry to be creative. And I love when I can do anything from geometric hairstyles to romantic hairstyles to cute little pixies, and the beat goes on. I've been honored to work with some of the most incredible hairdressers in my career, and some of my students have gone on to become multimillionaires. Some of my students have gone on to win major awards, and it makes it super exciting. Over 1,000 videos I have created that live on my website. Everything I do has to be sensible, simple, and you can do it too. It's not about me showing off. It's about how do I get you to shine and create the magic in your world? How do I help you build your brand? That to me is very, very important. So two of the iconic hairdressers I've trained, Ruth Roach and Stephen Moody, I hired both of these fabulous people and they've gone on to create extraordinary things in their life. So I want to talk to you tonight about my hair map. This hair map is the same technical haircut, but cut at different lengths. So when I'm working on a hairstyle, I go through my consultation, and before I even pick up my tools, I go, right, where's my design map? So this morning we did an asymmetric graduated bobbing class. And before we even started to get into the haircut itself, it's like, no, stop. We're going to vogue around the face. And I'll explain that more later on. We're going to vogue around the face. We're going to look at the balance and the proportion of this hairstyle. We're going to ask, why will we come here and why will we come there? How is that angle going to be? And we start to literally do tiny snips. We go, right, that's the focal point. That's the focal point. Now, is it going to be square? Is it going to be angular? And we start to design. So I create focal points around the hairstyle. So for example, if the client's got long hair and she's paranoid about it going too short, the first thing I'm going to do is have her stand up. So at eye level, and I'm going to come through and I'm going to look at the body type and I'm going to say, right, snip, snip. That's where I think it should be. That balances with your body. Now you can sit down, and now I'm going to look at how I'm going to design around your face, etc., etc. So I plan, I think. I don't go to an automatic pilot and just layer through and then at the end of it go, ooh, should have taken it shorter, or ooh, should have left it longer, or ooh, going to go back into it again and detail it. And no client pays for 2 haircuts, but why has our industry started to do 2 haircuts? A basic shape and then going back and detailing. Why not get it right first time? And I think that's the most important thing. So the design map is everything. So when I am working on my consultation, I look at my 3 wheels of fashion first. And what are they? How quiet or loud is the hairstyle going to be? Where does the client live in fashion? And what is the sensuality of her look? I then dive into face shape. The very last thing I do is technique. But I have to tell you, before I even went down this path, I used to look at technique. I'd look at the hair and I'd be so worried, consumed by the hair, that I was not paying enough attention to the face shape. I would never say to myself, how feminine should this woman be? Is she polished and done up, glam, or is she relaxed and undone and a little bit of a boho? Should I be ruffling up her hair or should I be making it look like glass? Just because I'm going to be doing a layered haircut, does that mean it has to be the same as the one before and the one before that? Sometimes when we're being the puppet and we're compromising, the client doesn't really know that that there is a compromise that's taking place. She thinks she's doing the right thing. And when a client has searched through all the social media and she's found those hairstyles and she brings them in and says, how about this? She's not only fallen in love with the hairstyle, she's fallen in love with the femininity, the fashion, the how quiet or loud it is, how it looks on that model's face. She's falling in love with the whole thing. But there's a bit of a problem. She ain't that person. And that person may be a size 6 and she may be a size 20. That person may have a ton of hair and she's got 4 hairs and a friend. You know, sometimes you're not comparing an apple to an apple and it's a bit dodgy. Would you agree? Yeah? Would you? Let me know in the chat. Do you agree? So am I making sense to you guys? Yes? Is this making sense? Yes, 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 yes. Margaret's saying yes. So let's get through this. I want to empower you tonight. And as I empower you tonight, I want to bring this sobering fact to your attention. 97% of hairdressers say they give a consultation. 7% of consumers say they receive a consultation. What are we doing today? There's the photograph. Let's do it is not a consultation. If I'm the expert, yes, I can look at a photograph and I can think about, okay, so what I see of the photograph, I have no idea how the side looks. I have no idea how the back looks because usually it's a front if it's a haircut. If it's color, it's usually just the back. And then you think, well, how's the front going to look? And when you're trying to reverse engineer a hairstyle, you've now got to go, okay, well, she's got silk and this one's got burlap. How's that going to work? And think about it. If we were fashion designers and someone brings in this floaty, soft dress and they say, well, could you make, I want one exactly like that. Meanwhile, they bring in a piece of sack and you think, well, that's never going to drape. It's never going to do that. It's going to look completely different. Let me work with that fabric, right? And so we don't have enough conversations about the fabric of the hair and we don't stand enough in our power and our knowledge. It's very easy for us to get talked down. And what I do know is that an opinion, everyone has it, right? But when you can talk facts to a client, it's really super, super powerful. So when I'm looking at what a 5-star consultation is, there's our rational mind. The consultation that we work with is the rational mind. But then there's the gut feeling. Have you ever been walking back to a car park or something and you thought, oh, I don't know, this feels a little scary. I think I should either be talking on my phone right now to make sure that if something happens, I've got a connection with the world or someone's going to come with me. Your gut feeling says, this could be dangerous. Gut feeling. In a hairstyle, you could be working away and all of a sudden the hair starts to shrink, or all of a sudden the hair starts to do something strange. And there's this feeling of anxiety, this sort of flush of energy. And the gut feeling says, you better back off. You better either get that color off of her right now or whatever. But gut feeling. And it's real. If you live in gut feeling, it's called anxiety. But then there's your intuition, which is your highest self. Your intuition as an energy field connects to an intelligence that's within self and beyond. It is that inspired moment. It is such a powerful thing. So when you're trying to make a creative decision, the rational mind will crush it. When you're trying to make a creative decision, the gut's going to say, oh, no, it could be a failure. It could be a failure, which may be true. But when you're trying to make a rational decision about the logic of that client, it can't be so dominant that the intuition is not listened to. So I'm curious to know, how many of you really do listen to your intuition? How many of you? Have any of you ever found that your intuition has led you astray? If you really listen to the higher self, if you listen to your heart versus your head, how has that been for you? So when I'm going through my process and when I designed this consultation, I thought, right, I've got to address the rational mind, because some clients come in, they're very rational, very logical, and this is the way we do things. Some clients come in and the stars are in alignment and they drift on in and they're a little bit of a boho girl and they have a totally different energy. And if you talk to them through the rational mind, you won't even reach them, right? So you always have to reach the client in the landscape where she lives. But what about this? How have we trained our clients? Have we trained our clients not to expect a consultation? Have we trained our clients to know that we'll always be running behind? Have we trained our clients that we don't educate them about their hair texture and all the possibilities? Have we trained our clients not to expect anything other than a long layered haircut with balayage and beach curls? How have we trained our clients? When you look at some of the iconic hairdressers in our craft, they had a vision, they educated, they inspired the client, and they moved the client from being stuck into a revolution. I feel our industry right now, it's exciting in many ways because we've got so many amazing color techniques. We've got so many incredible haircuts, but there's a lot of youngsters coming into the craft who don't know how to cut hair. We've got a lot of youngsters coming into the craft that don't know how to move and manipulate hair. They don't know how to put a wave into their hair. They don't know how to put rollers into their hair. So the fact that a perm trend is coming in, how will you work with your dexterity skills if you don't know how to work with rollers, bendies, all sorts of creative things you can do? A pin curl set to create a lovely, like a texture like mine. You could do that with a perm, with a pin curl set. So what have we trained our clients to expect? It's really easy to say, well, my clients won't let me. My clients won't do that. Well, who's the authority here? That means they're being the puppet, right? So I feel we're almost at a place where it was like Vidal Sassoon. Vidal had to get women out of a roller set, coming to the salon every week for their roller set. And he revolutionized our industry into wash and wear haircuts, haircuts with blow dries, and clients coming every 6 to 8 weeks. That was radical, to go from 1 week to 6 weeks to 8 weeks. And it feels like we're right now stuck and we're all doing very much similar things. Some of it's absolutely amazing, don't get me wrong, but we need the new. And I guarantee someone who is listening to me right now, I bet you're tired. Every time you look up, you see the same old thing walking out the salon because you're worried when that fashion ship leaves, are you prepared for the next trend or will you get left behind? And that's really very important to ask. So what we're going to be talking about tonight is your clients or your community. So when you put intention around the type of work that you do, how you show up, the image of the space where you are, how you post your work on social media. Remember, your social media page is your brochure. It is your portfolio. It is your voice. And even if you only do one post a week and it is gorgeous, that one image should do its work for you, because a great photo should work for you while you're asleep. A great photo should cross through boundaries and start bringing in the people that you want. So tonight, I want you to really ask yourself, right, first of all, am I a balanced entertainer, artist, technician, and my puppet is going to die tonight, Viv? I'm also asking you, do you make rational decisions when they should be the creative, the intuitive, and vice versa? And that's why it gets you into trouble. But I'm also going to ask you tonight to think about your community that you've created, because ultimately a great community is like-minded, like-hearted, and similar values. Because when you have that sitting in your chair, a like-mindedness, they understand your brand, a like-heartedness, they understand your brand, and similar values, they understand your brand. And that's what makes that so powerful. So today, our clients know their faces better than we do. Any of our clients who are taking selfies, they know, oh, yeah, this works better. They tuck their hair behind the ears, they play around, they just know their faces really, really well. Which is fascinating when we look at lots of the images out there on social media where we see beautiful backs of hair, but what if we see so much that there is no soul anymore? There's no personality on the page. And when this fashion moves on, what is next? So I was coaching a lovely young lady and I said, show me your Instagram page. So here you can see is her page. And here we have very pretty color, very similar setting technique in terms of how the hair is finished. And I said to her, I don't understand why you are having all the backs of the heads and where are your haircuts? And so from here, I said, in class, you just did this really great haircut. How come you haven't posted it? And she said to me, oh, well, first of all, she said, my clients don't like to have the front of their face photographed. I said, all of your clients? No, I understand that some people are self-conscious, but how have you trained your client? The clients that you know are photogenic, the clients that have a bit more of a big personality, could you not train those clients to either come at the end of the day so you can spend a bit more time and take a photograph of them because you know that photo will bring in 10 more? Could you not train your clients to come in saying, you know, if you'd like to come in next time, just eyebrows, mascara, some lips, put on a pretty top. We have a photo wall. When you stand in this wall, you look 20 years younger and slimmer. The lighting is so gorgeous. Every woman's going to want to stand here at this wall going, oh yeah, I'm amazing, right? Because the lighting is so beautiful. Now, if she's sitting in the salon chair and the lighting is harsh and you take a photograph, she goes, ugh, of course she's not going to want her photograph taken. But I promise you, there isn't a woman out there, when you know how to take a good photograph in good light and she's just had her hair done, she will want the front of her face photograph to send to her boyfriend, wherever, whatever, husband, whatever. She'll want to market herself out there to her friends. So when we use the excuse, oh, we'll just do the back, I don't buy it. I really don't buy it. So again, I go back to how have you trained your clients? Because you can train them to be whatever you want them to be that fits your community and where you want to take your business. So for example, we're working on an Instagram course right now. So we created, here she is, Miss Bubbles. And so Miss Bubbles is a happy, perky, bubbly little girl, and she loves doing lovely styles and she loves doing haircuts. So clearly, in how we're building this brand, it's very obvious to any client that we do is happy, it's bubbly, and pretty little haircuts, which is really, really, really cool, right? So what I do in my training, I say to people, right, number one, we've got to have a great consultation. Number two, you've got to be able to style hair any way and every way. Number three, you've got to understand architecture. And number four, you've got to be able to do hair short, medium, long, scissors, razor, and know how to make an older client look younger because of their haircut. And you've got to do it so that they're fresh and they're modern, right? But that's not enough. You've then got to market it so that you attract the values that you want. Again, as I say, your social media is your voice. So this is one of the students from our class who's been working with her mannequins, and she's wonderful, Misty Walker. So here she's been posting these images of her looks and showing the client, i.e., how this hairstyle looks smooth and how this hairstyle looks with texture. So now when she goes, and she's had clients come in from those photographs saying, I want my hair like that. She's also been doing carousels of front, side and back. So what happens is, from when we do a class, I say your class with me is actually a photo shoot. It's prep for a photo shoot, because at the end of the class, you're going to photograph your work. You're going to post it out there. You're going to start to attract your clients, and you're going to stand out from the crowd because you're going to have pretty hair. You're showing front, side, and back, or you're showing pretty hair, smooth and sleek, and you can sell this. And the big thing is, where else in your town are people doing this work, if what we're seeing is just backs of heads? So Misty's been able to build her business, increase her creativity, and just an incredible success story. So for example, in here, these are styles that I did in class. I wanted to show the story of a glass bob, a graduated bob, and then just a simple sort of textured bob. And to me, that is very, very important part of what we're doing through here, as you can see. So from here to here, it creates the magic. So I have a very, very special guest that I want to bring into the screen. And I'm going to introduce you to our fabulous Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Vivian. Hi, everyone.
How are you?
I'm good. I just got done with my work day, so life is good.
Life is good. So Sarah is a graduate, and she's also going to be coming to New York in a few weeks, where she's joined our photo shoot workshop, and we're super excited about what she's doing. So just share with our friends what's happened in your world creatively, the consultation, and your finances. Just share with us a little bit of that while I get my mannequin ready to do my first my demonstration for you.
Okay. So I did the your hair designer program starting in September of 22, right? Or October 22. I've had 3 price increases since then. So I'm working less. I was working 4 days a week, and I'm now just working 3. And I was working 10 to 12 hour days, and now I work like 6 to 8 hours. And I'm actually making almost the same amount of money because of my price increases. And I've also been able to spend more time with my guests. Before, I felt like the clock was my boss, and it kind of robbed the joy. You know, I was very into making a lot of money, being a big producer, providing for my family, which is all great. I love our industry for that. But I also gave away my joy, and I feel like every day is a great day again. And I just like when you first started from beauty school, like how everything was so exciting, and offering different things to your guests. And I feel like definitely, I've been an educator for 3 different brands. I love education, but your program actually gave me the confidence that I needed to charge what I'm worth, and it increased my skill set so that I do more things behind the chair, and I offer more behind my chair than I ever have.
Which is wonderful.
Yeah.
How has the consultation changed your relationship with your clients?
Oh, I mean, they definitely feel more connected. They feel like it's more about them. They feel like, that they have more to choose from. I offer them, and when I offer them visuals doing the voguing, like last night, I was taking care of a guest whose daughter is getting married on Saturday. And I'm not doing her hair for the wedding, but she was like, can you just kind of show me what you think would look good with my face? Because I colored her and cut her. And I'm like, sure. So I kind of just did a little mock. We didn't spend a lot of time necessarily in the structure of getting it in and making it look great. I was showing her face shape and how a little softness around her face and how a little drape on her forehead like worked well with her face shape and her hair texture. So it just, being able to show people before they commit, is really nice.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we're going to carry on this conversation, but I'm going to now come in a little tighter on the screen so you can see what I'm doing. And I want to talk to you about doing a hairstyle with that guest who's got long hair, because it's obviously the theme right now, and how we can do something a little different, but hopefully make it feel a little bit a nice look that is, as I say, special. So Sarah, I'm just going to put you into the background, and then you can ask questions and you can follow along.
Okay.
So we have here, I took the hair back here. I wet the hair and flattened it here. This method in this area here is the palm up, palm down. So just to show you what I did, I'll just take a piece on the underneath just in case I change my pattern, which wouldn't be good. I hold the hair as though I'm doing a haircut. I put my iron down to the floor. I then come through and I twist and turn and palm up. I twist, turn, palm up. I twist, turn, and then I burn my fingers, which is a very important part of this. How many times do you burn your hand doing this, Sarah?
Oh yeah, a lot. Even my wrist. Yeah.
So the idea with this is palm up, palm down. So when the hand flips, it twists the hair and you get this dimension. I also want to just draw your attention to this area here, which is the correct way of doing a classic wave. So when you're doing palm up, palm down, the hair's just going to drop. But this is your classic wave. So when I come in through here, I only do one wrap. And then I have my end left out and I glide down and then I twist and I walk the iron through and I glide all the way through and then I carry on twisting. I walk through to the end. I come through onto base. If the ends are left out, just cut them off. Haven't you ever wanted to do that? So when I'm on base here, letting her cook, that's great. But then what I do is I release. I put my comb in here, and then I can slide out, and nothing is disturbed, and that allows this to be a cold set. And that really makes that quite lovely. So what I'm going to do in this part here is I'm going to do a 3-stranded braid. And whatever you're doing, whether it's cut, color, perming, it's so important to be organized. And I spoke in the beginning about a design map. So before I did this hairstyle, I'd already designed in my mind, okay, this is going to go here. And I was like designing where everything's going to go. Everything's sectioned off accordingly. And I find that taking that time at the very beginning is really going to help me tremendously with the end result. So coming through here, and I can see I've got, a nice movement. So obviously a horizontal pattern is very, very, very different to a vertical pattern when you're coming through and you're working on your set. So I've got some nice movement through there, you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lean her over here. Now, sometimes what I would do is I would be backcombing the base, but in this case, I'm not. I'm just going to put a little bit of water on the hair, and I'm just going to here make that perfect. And I do use water quite a lot in my styles. One of the things we do in our training is that how my training works, it's not your typical, I have to have a low, I'm sorry, just so I can reach, and then I'll raise it up. I want to make sure you can see. In our training, what we do is we watch the videos, we show up for a virtual live class, you follow along with me, it's like Simple Simon Says, and then we photograph our work, you then get feedback on your work, and then we give you feedback also on your social media. So we're really trying to help you. So look here, I've got my fingers divided and I'm going to twist down to the floor. So I have 3 sections and I'm going to take over from the outside and join it into the middle. And then I'm going to go under. Let me just tilt her forward a bit so you can see. Oh, don't fall off. Her head fell off. Oh no. Oh, it's so nice when it's all attached, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me turn her forward like that. There we go. I just want to make sure you can see. There we go. We're going to do it again. So I call this bunny ears. 2 fingers and I twist and I come through. So here I go over into the middle and I add. And then I go under and into the middle, and I add, because it's 3 sections. So it's over, middle, and then it is under middle. Now, when you're braiding, it's so important to have your fingers organized. So I am coming in and it's pinch, hook, pinch, hook. So that as I'm coming through, not only am I aware of where I'm going, but I have control. This hand is free. So as I'm coming around here, I'm just twisting. Now, I don't necessarily want this to look like a braid when I'm done. I'm going to pull it apart. Sometimes when you are working on something, now move your shoulders, darling. This is where Vivian's hip comes in quite handy. Sometimes when you're doing this type of work, it can be very overwhelming and it's easy to get lost. And braids, I find that people either love braids or they hate them. And they have been in some shape or form very much in fashion. So for a long, long, long time. In actual fact, the whole kind of braid bohemian look is actually medieval. If you look at medieval fashion, what we've been doing for the longest time has been very medieval. Let's just hope the men don't go medieval, because the men in the medieval period wore page boys. When I was at college, we studied the history of hair and we studied the first 5,000 years of hairdressing. I had a book. The first 5,000 years of hairdressing. It was ridiculous. Anyway, that's what we did. So it's great to look through history because you can get ideas and get inspiration. And working with Trevor Sorbie for all those years, he never wanted to do anything the same as anybody else. He loved innovation. And that's what made him one of the most famous hairdressers in the world. So we've got this in a braid here. And now what I'm going to do is pull this apart. So I'm going to start lifting this up gently. And as I do that, I've got to stop and look in the mirror. So let's just bring her up. Don't fall over, darling. And just start to gently. Now notice I've got to keep looking. So the technician would just be here. Mm-hmm. Looking at this, looking at this. The artist would be out here. The entertainer would be so busy talking to the client that they may miss the whole thing. Because, you can only do one conscious thing at a time. And 95% of what we do is habitual. So if you're always repeating the habit from the previous day, you're really being quite robotic. And I don't know, I love the fact that in our craft, we can make money and be creative. So, and I'm not talking about ridiculous, but we can. So I'm just going to bring her in a little closer so you can see. And I'm now going to be designing into my mirror. So I do this on so many of my hairstyles where I just look into the mirror and I just look at that shape. Again, I'm not thinking of the technique right now. I'm just looking at the shape and how that's coming through. So now I have this piece here. This is where I need a staple gun. To just kind of like lock this into place. In fact, I know somebody that had to do a bride, and they weren't expecting to do the bride, and it was the Empire State Building, and it was one of these fantasy weddings, and they said they wanted their hair up, and he had no hairdressing tools, so he said, "Do you have a stapler?" And they stapled it. Yeah, they stapled it in place. I'm going to just put a clip here right now because I'm going to brush the rest of this hair through. So that is it pinned, and I want this to be very flat and snug through here. And in a moment, I think that this is going to have to come up more. So Sarah, tell us some more about your learns, your experience. We've got a lot of people here that I think will be very interested to join us in the education. I see some familiar faces here. And tonight, guys, this will be your incredible opportunity to join what we're doing and have a whole lot of fun. Don't wait. Don't put it off. Don't make excuses. Just do it. Next week, we launch our new designer program. and it will run through the year, and it's transformative. And I know people think, oh gosh, it's a commitment, but isn't learning a commitment? Like, do you want to keep doing the same thing that you've been doing, or do you want to do something different? So Sarah, talk to me about that.
Well, I feel like it's changed my life, and not just my professional life, but my personal life. There's the devil is in the details, and living with intention, standing behind your chair with intention, learning with intention, like the way that your program is very well founded and like well grounded, and it's just so all encompassing that it's styling, it's hair cutting, it's it covers everything that we do behind our chair as human beings with human beings. And then it also sets up for really good habits that make life behind the chair very easy. So I realized there was a lot of bad habits I was relying on for my mediocrity. I realized, and when I say mediocrity, I mean I knew when I wasn't doing, I knew when I wasn't offering all that I could offer people, and so I feel like that's living in mediocrity. So when you change those habits, then everything becomes easier, and you become more reliable, and you become more consistent, and all of that. Then it actually then starts to flow into your personal life, where you realize, how am I showing up to people? Am I being consistent to the people in my personal life? Am I giving my relationships the attention they need? I don't know. So, I also had 2 surgeries during the hair designer program, based on an injury that I had from a little accident. And so I had to get real intentional about my business, because I could not work for 2 months. And it was really altogether about 3 months that I couldn't work. So I had to become very, very intentional about what I wanted in my life. And doing hair is something that I love, and I feel like I got to fall in love with it again.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. So I just put some oil into the hair to get that shine and that separation. I've got that. It's nice, isn't it? I've got the movement here. So I'm just going to come through this underneath, and I have an elastic thread, and I'm going to come through and thread through the thread itself and slide that all the way to the very bottom and get that cinched in there. Now I'm going to go back in again. You should see how I hem a trouser.
That's hard with that big plastic needle.
Darling, look, when you're as old as me, you need a needle with a hole that large. You do. Yeah, you do. And if I say to you guys, like, don't wait. I mean, I'm not going to be around forever, for goodness sake. I'll be in a box sooner than you think. So you better, if you want to be trained by me, you better do it soon.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I'm glad that I acted on the decision. Once you make the decision, like, I'm going to do this, then you figure out the rest.
Yes.
You don't have everything. You don't have to have everything figured out on the moment that you decide something. All you have to do is take the first step of deciding. And then once you do that, then everything else falls into place, I feel.
Yes, absolutely. So what I'm going to do here, just to give this the magic, and let's just hope I can do it, I'm going to come through here with this elastic thread and just sew in here. I'm coming through to the scalp. I come out and I'm going through the thread. And I'm just making sure that with the elasticity of this, I can cinch it in and I can start to make the shape and just make it feel a bit special. So I've done this hairstyle where the hair's just simply taken back, which is a little bit more basic, more day. But I've also, today I thought I would just show you something a little bit more special, because you're special. and just do it this way. So the elasticity of this thread's really important. That gives you the taut. So you can have a lot of fun with this. So, you know, in my training, we're speaking about the designer program. It's an incredible program. And yes, it is life-changing. It's really extraordinary. We also have editorial, which is really very, very powerful. Next year, we're starting off, we're going back into all of our color courses, and we're going to be doing live color courses again next year, which will be very exciting with some celebrity colorists. And Viv's going to be the baby colorist, because when I went to Sassoon's, I had to choose cutting or coloring. I didn't have an option. And I think there's a lot of hairdressers out there, especially in high profile salons that specialize, where you've never had that chance to color hair. You've been always working with your colorist. So we're going to do something along those lines, which is exciting. We're launching quite soon our Instagram course to help you build your brand, which is, again, super exciting. And we do live workshops. So Sarah is in our photographic workshop, and we're going to be hosting it in New York. And the way that I work now, because I see results, is I do the Zoom thing like we're doing tonight, and we do live where we get to see you in action. And it's incredible watching you guys in action. And then we have you come to me here, either at my studio or in New York, and we create the magic. But I have to tell you, these interactive sessions that we do, the reason that we see the incredible results that we see is because every week I just say, can you give me a 1% change? That's all I'm asking for. So when I'm doing that, I think I'm going up. Hold on, I've got to use
you
my
are
mirror.
just a little bit,
Yeah.
just a tiny bit.
I'd rather go up and slide down than the other way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's why we have a mirror, Viv. Hello.
There you go. Looks good.
Yeah, there you go. I was scared I was going to droop. No woman should be drooping. I determined I look my best laying down. I do. I've been doing these hairstyles, and I just did a shoot. Oh my gosh, wait till you see this new collection I just shot. It's really cool. It's called Glam Grunge, and it's totally cool. And I won't tell you too much about it because you'll get to see it. So I was super excited about it. And so I showed it to my husband, and he looked at it, and my husband's my best critic. So he said to me, I'm going up again. He said, honey, where's the bird going to sit? And I went, what do you mean a bird? He said, well, you've got to leave a place for the bird. I said, are you implying that my hairstyle's a bird's nest? He went, well, it's a bit big. How many of you have husbands that are just really tell you the way it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
The way it is. So you can see here that what's happening now as I come through, it's just a nice way of not doing a ponytail, not having the hair hang down, and doing a different back. So if you think about your social feed, if you had something like this in the back, as opposed to what's so common, people want special. Mm-hmm. They just don't know how to ask for it. I think that is the big thing. They don't know how to ask for it. So this is all going to be made more perfect. And I'm going to start sliding it down in a moment. It's a little high and it's a little square. I'm not a fan of square around the back of the head. It takes a very special person who can wear that. So I've got that nice and cinched. So now I'm going to come through here. And I'm going to deconstruct this. And as I'm going to come through here with my little bit of sewing, I'm going to come in and out. And I'm going to pull that apart in a moment.
How deep are you going with your needle?
I'm going quite deep. I'm going down.
You're going close to the scalp?
Yes, I'm going down to the scalp and then I'm coming up.
Okay.
So in a moment, I'm going to cast off. And what I'm going to do is just cast off in here, right at the front so everyone can see it. Scissors would help. Where are my scissors? All right. So now I'm going to start to pull this apart a bit more, because as I mentioned before, I don't want it to look so much like a braid. So we have that sort of undoneness. Here we've got the length coming through. Here we're just pulling it apart. It just makes it look a little bit more edgy, I think. And so now this has got to come down just a tiny bit, because you want roundness. So this is where you start to train your eye for shape, balance, and proportion. And it starts to sort of come to life a little bit. See, the roundness makes a huge difference versus the square. Do you see that? Does that make a difference to you, Sarah?
Yeah, it looks great.
So what we have from the back, my hairstyles always look their best about a mile away, by the way, my friends. So at the back, we've got this nice movement. And then when what is this? Oh, it's the bird. Now I know where he's going to sit. I tell you guys, when we do our lives events, they're such a laugh. We have, I can't take any of this stuff seriously. Mm-hmm. We do have a laugh, don't we, Sarah?
Yeah, always. Good energy.
Very good energy. Okay, guys, so this is the look. Tell me if you like it. And in a moment, Patricia is going to put into the chat concierge, so you can actually, if you have any questions, you want to pop in and find out, how can I work with Viv? And I, want to take some training. She's there to, woo! I love when that happens. At least when your client moves, her whole body doesn't go down to the floor, right? Yeah, so if you want to ask some questions, find out how you can join us. As I mentioned, we are starting our next program next week. So don't hesitate. Don't put off. Don't be like some of the stylists who said, Viv, I put it off and put it off. And oh my gosh, you could have been making more money, having more fun years ago. And instead you were putting it off. So don't be one of those people putting it off. Don't make excuses. Success and excuses don't work. Mm-hmm. So that's very, very important. So here's our look. I think she looks really, really pretty. So we've got the hair that can cascade through here. We've got the little twist. This kind of makes it feel more modern. We've got this in the back, which is a nice way. Remember, she was square. I just dropped her down. And there we've got our lovely area here. And just a nice way of creating a lovely shape. Do you like it?
It's beautiful.
Good. Off she goes. So let's just move on, and let's dive even more into our consultation. So I mentioned before, doing a consultation is the gatekeeper to opening all these incredible possibilities. And this is where my training is very, very different from YouTube, from your free videos and all the rest of the stuff, social media, because I'm giving you my time. And I don't think you stand in the salon doing free haircuts all day long, right? My time is valuable, just like yours is. So I really invest so much in my students. That's so important. So I just want to show you this lovely lady. She wanted me to be her puppet. She came with a photograph with her hair kissing the shoulders. And I was like, I don't think that's going to work. She's so heavy in her jawline. I vogued around her face. I cut her hair off. She was transformed. And here we have our makeover. I wanted to have some flirtiness around the front and just make that really interesting. And I think one of the big important things about when we're working on our more mature clients is, number one, shine. Shine, shine, shine. The hair must shine. So you should never do a haircut without shine, without a glaze, without some kind of fun color. In the front of this lovely lady's hair, we have just a little whisper of color. I'd like to see it pushed a bit more, to be perfectly honest. But she looks really quite different. And when people say, oh, well, short haircuts are for old people, it's like, no. Now, are there people who are more mature wearing haircuts that are just not really cool or fabulous? Yeah. But you should make your haircuts fresh in the way you style them out, the way you color them. Put your imagination into it, and I think you'll be really happy. So the 5-star consultation, we already spoke about this, but the consultation, does your hairstyle whisper, scream, or shout? Is it classic? Is it trendy? Is she sexy? Is she boyish? So for example, when we look at these images here, based on the 3 wheels of fashion, you can see that when we look at the one image here, we've got the glamorous wave on our far left. Then we've closed down the hair and dropped the front. Then we've opened the face, and then we've given volume. So these are 3 different personalities, from your boho to your glamorous woman. So not only have they closed the face down with the center parting, but also, we've totally changed the face shape. So when we're working, we're looking at face shape design. We're looking at styling techniques. We're looking at hair cutting techniques. We're talking about how can we color this to make this more gorgeous. So the question is, what do you see? So if your eyes are filtered to just see layered haircuts, long ghost layers and balayage and boho looks, that is great if that woman is that. But what if she is not? What if she's a little bit more glamorous and you missed it? What if she likes it a little bit more cute and girly and you missed it? What if she's a bit rock and roll and you've kind of made her look boring? You missed it. So it's not the conversation about how short is it or how long. It's not a conversation about how many layers. It's about fashion and style. It's about who is that woman? What is her character? What is her personality? And how you're going to create that. So I teach more than a hairstyle. I teach patterns to success. When we show up for our virtual live events, we have a protocol of voguing around the face, mapping our haircuts out, our why are we doing this? Who is this woman? She would be classic, she'd be edgy, we kind of paint the picture of who she is, and we're doing more than just simply a square layered haircut. So what I think is important is to understand how to build your brand, how to stand out from the crowd so you can increase your prices, how to take great images, as in photos of your work, how to regain your confidence if you feel that you've lost it, increase your income and value behind the chair, become more creative and get off the assembly line. Sarah is very brave. She completely restructured her business without losing any money and working less. That was a lifestyle choice of having worked so incredibly hard throughout her life. She was also very devoted to stronger technical skills. The result is obviously a happy client and a happier you. So that's what we're talking about today. My training does save decades. Experienced stylists who are now after 30 years making a 6-figure income, the saddest thing that they've waited all this time. So for all of you here, Osana, it's great to see you here. Margaret, we've got people here. I want you all to make a commitment to me. Make the call. Find out how we can help you. Find out how we can take you from where you are right now. Don't be scared. Just say, I'm going to go for it, right? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do it. Excuses. When people say to me, oh, I'm so busy, Viv, and I'm doing this, that, do you know what I'm saying? No, they're not. They're no busier than me. They just don't want it bad enough. They're coming up with excuses and reasons why and saying they'll do it tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes. There was a pub in England that said free beer tomorrow. You go back in, free beer tomorrow. Go back in the next day, the sign hasn't changed. free beer tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. Your power is in today, this moment, right here, right now. This is where your power is. And when I work with people and I start to see them transformed, I start to see confidence soar. People who are bored doing hair because it just become an assembly line, I can help them with all of that. And that's what's so exciting. So you don't have to wait 3 decades to get your result. That's what I'm telling you tonight. Consequently, obviously, you want to make some more money, and as Sarah has, in less time. So you can book a call, you can book your call, and you can, in this call, you can have a coaching session. Tell us what your goals are. Tell us what your pain points are. Tell us what your frustrations are. Tell us what your challenges are. Tell us what they are. And then we can roadmap and we can look at how to get you there. I promise you, if you show up for the events that I do, you've got to show up. If you show up and trust me, I'll take you there. But you've got to show up, right? You can't buy a gym membership and not go. And what I know about today, especially, is that people would like the body and the fitness of someone who goes to the gym, but they don't necessarily want to go and work out. Well, you know, they speak about manifestation. It's a big hot word today. Manifestation, if you don't have a plan and a strategy, it's just wishful thinking. It's out there, right? So positive thoughts don't bring that to you. Yes, be positive, of course, but you've got to have a strategy. And so for those of you who are here tonight who have salons, the great thing is we can babysit your kids. We're the ones that can say, you need to up your game. We're the ones that can try and elevate the whole experience so that you can focus on running your business. We'll focus on getting your team really, really strong. So whether you're an independent stylist, whether you're an educator, whether you're a platform artist, whether you're an editorial stylist, whether you work in film, I have people that come to me from film, whether you're a salon owner, and I know the challenges of being a salon owner today, crazy. Any support that you can get, like, wouldn't that be nice? So as we mentioned, we believe the consultation is the gatekeeper, and that's what changed Sarah's business. She now understands how to work with face shape, but many people don't know face shape. They don't know how to read a face shape. And how amazing when you can say to the client, I can take 10 years off of you right now by changing the color, by changing the shape, by doing all of these different things that we do. We can make our clients look more youthful. That is huge. Also, designing to personality. So many times people don't design to personality. Now, the entertainer may design to personality because they're personality driven, but the technician's not. And the artist may not always be doing that because they're into a whole nother sphere. And Sarah, does this make sense to you as we're speaking about this?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I've done like technically a great haircut, technically for the hair texture and for the face shape. But if they weren't going to recreate it at home, it wasn't suitable to their personality.
Yes.
You know what I mean? To their lifestyle.
Absolutely. Understanding where the client lives in fashion. Some people, fashion is so important. For some people, it's not. Designing to the sensuality. For some women, it is, and so for some women, it is not. And Sarah, you had some interesting experiences with your consultation, didn't you, around this subject?
I did, yeah. So as soon as I got your consultation form, I had all of my clients, even if I've been doing them for 20, 25 years, even 30 years, I had everybody fill it out. And I had a client that I've been doing for right about 30 years, maybe around there, it doesn't matter. And so with the 3 wheels of fashion, when it came to the wheel of sensuality, she goes, I'm not on here. And I said, well, what do you mean? She goes, oh, none of this like applies to me. And I said, oh, okay. And I didn't, say anything else. I just kind of like took back, like she has, and I also know this because she's told me she's in an unhappy marriage. So it's almost like she shut that whole part of herself off. So it gave me a lot more empathy for her. And I got to understand her a little bit better.
That's beautiful. And that's what it's really about, guys, isn't it? It's about that empathy, that compassion. So designing to sensuality. For some women, fashion is everything. They've got to look like their tribe. For some women, I want to show up being romantic. I want to show up in that way. They're all very, very different to each other. The lack of voguing around the face. So when I vogue around the face, so for example, this lovely lady here, let's take a look at her. She's got an unusual hairline was what I thought when I saw her. And let me just go in close so you can really see the hairline. Just very sort of scruffy and lots of fuzzy wuzzies. And it's not her best feature. So I thought, cover it. And make her look more gorgeous, right? And layer her through, because that looks much more sexy. So, when I looked at this lady, clearly she's sensual. Clearly she was glamorous. So I had to speak to her in the voice that she understood. So if in the consultation form, someone's ticked glamour, or someone's ticked bohemian, and someone's ticked sensual, if I then use back their own language to them, this will be very bohemian. This will be very, very soft and very feminine. I use back the language that they gave to me. When they say, oh my gosh, I don't like my chin, or I don't like my nose, whatever. I say, well, I know a really good surgeon. Yeah, sometimes I do. But no, I will then talk back to them, or this hairstyle will close this down. This will lift it up. So voguing around the face, we use our hands. So we use our hands to close. We look at asymmetry. We look at being here, tucking, like if we tuck it back. We look at what that happens when we raise it up, when we bring it down. And so we are literally like voguing around the face. We bring it up and we play around. And so the client gets to see her shape. So when you've seen these ladies where I've done big changes, I've always vogued. I've always spoken back the language that they relate to, and I get into their character. I don't say, come into my character and say, well, all of you must be romantic, because I love the diversity. And I've trained my people to understand and value what I do. So if I'm doing something really difficult, I train them this way. I won't be talking to you for the first part of this hairstyle, because what I'm going to be doing is extremely difficult. I just need for you to sit here really quietly and still and just breathe occasionally. Don't move, no phone, etc. Because I want to give you a beautiful haircut, and I can't talk and do this at the same time. What matters to me is that I give you the best haircut you've ever had. Trust me, they shut up. The other thing that's always good is you can always take their mouths. Everyone should have carpet tape, right? Well, painter's tape. Oh God, well, I hope I'm making you laugh. So tonight you have a couple of options available to you. You can take this information and start working on your own. Absolutely. I hope you apply some of these principles tomorrow, but we've just touched the surface. And this is why this is not a fast track that I take. I take a track for transformation. Information can be information, but I want information to be transformative. That's a huge difference, right? And I know that we can work together to achieve your goals. I know that. Just got to show up, right? What I want you to do, I want every single one of you in here. Oksana, that includes you, my love. Book a call, and let's see how we can take you to that next place, right? So why do many fail? It's the old way versus the new way. The old way of training is you go to a workshop and you're one of X amount, or you go to a hair show, or you go onto social media and YouTube and you watch all these bits and pieces. But why does that not increase confidence, increase your pricing, increase your repertoire? You get bits, right? That's the old way, and it doesn't work. The new way, which I have created, does work, because I've got result after result after result. There is something incredible about when you break something down in a baby step. When it's a baby step, you can do it. When I ask you to jump through a hoop, you can't do it. It's way too much. And okay, in the chat, tell me, how many of you have been to a workshop, a crowded workshop? You maybe spend 5 or 10 minutes with the stylist as they go around and go around again. And then you go back to your salon, you try something, you run behind, it goes horribly wrong, you get into a panic, and then you don't do it ever again. And within a week or a month, you're right back to where you began. How many people can say that, right? How many people? I bet there's quite a few of you can. So with what we're doing is we're looking at how can we make baby changes to create the transformation. So guys, I want you to go to my website, to go to vivianmckinder.com, and you're going to see at the very top of the page a button where you can click that button and you can go to the to book a call with us. And that's what I want you to do. So the question is, how can I learn to believe in myself? Sometimes you need to lean into something to get that support, to see it working for you, and then you can start to believe. Sometimes you need to do that because how we think determines how we act, and how we act is the result. So sometimes it's not your dexterity skills, it's how you're thinking about it. You could be in the way of your greatness because you could have been telling yourself a story, I'm not good enough, etc., etc. And we don't want that. So in 10 years' time, will you be an older version of yourself or transformed your skills? What would that be? What will that be? So you may be asking, and these are important things here, how long will this take for me to learn? How do I stay accountable? Does my age matter to learn this design mapping process when I've already developed my own style? I've always specialized as a colorist. Will this work for me? I've never been able to master the art of a consultation. What if all my creativity has been lost? What if I fear cutting hair too short? What if I'm not tech savvy? Will this require a lot of effort or changing who I am? And what I can tell you is that we hold your hand, and Sarah's been through this, and we hold your hand every step of the way. Anything you'd like to add to that, Sarah?
I think I probably felt all of these, at one point. And it is true, like it just saying, yes, I'm going to do this, trusting the process, trusting you, and then showing up and then just doing it. Like, get the model, ask the person, even if it's scary, even if you're afraid, because that person might say no. Just ask it, because you're still going to be alive when it's over. You know what I mean? So there's just like, anytime you get scared, that is where the transformation happens. Like, once you do something, even though you're scared, you do it and you're on the other side of it with something to show for it, whether it be the way that you feel, like you feel accomplished, or you just did this amazing thing and you made this person's day. And, so anytime you have those feelings of fear, when you do it anyway, you're so much better on the other side. Absolutely. Always, right?
Absolutely. Great point, Sarah. Great points. So the average person will spend 2 hours a day on social media, which equals 30 days in a year. What I do know is full immersion into a training system with profound results is your path. So when people say to me, time, it's an excuse. It's an excuse from you being the best version of yourself. So look at that hard fact. Full immersion training is where it's all about. So this is how we work. You watch your videos, you show up for a live virtual class. You can work from the comfort of your kitchen, lounge, salon, wherever you are. And then you get feedback on your photographic work. This is a coaching program. We see you live on the screen, so we can give you feedback in real time. If you've got a question, if you're stuck, you can ask me right there in that real time how it works, which is so, so powerful. Feedback on your work. Sarah's great work here. Adorable. 2 cute little haircuts that she did that are just so, so adorable. And to me, they look young. They don't look like old lady haircuts. They're young, they're fresh, right? So we have a huge video library. This will accelerate your learning. Absolutely. I show you how to climb the ladder to success. All I'm asking you to do tonight is book your call. Book your call so that you do not miss this incredible opportunity to be part of this journey. So here is your link. It's vivianmckinder.com. You go there, and on that home page, you will see how you can book a call, and you can actually do that right now, right now. So if you're going to join us, we launch next week. We have our introduction. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. For those of you who are interested in designing, you're interested in consultation, go for it. We have shorter programs. We have like a fast track program. We have our editorial course that you can start at any time. We are doing a photo shoot workshop, and we do have one place left. One place left. So if there's anyone that wants to learn how to take great images of their work and you want to create a beautiful portfolio of your collection, it's amazing. To me, the camera has taught me so much. Yes, I've had icons in my life, which was intentional. But the camera, and now my phone, has taught me so much. So now it's training my eye. How do I do it better? But when people say to me, Viv, you've been around a long time. How is it, that you keep going? I just want to do what I do better. So simple. I just want to do what I do better. Very, very, very simple. And that passion. And when I see a hairdresser go from no confidence to confidence, making more money, so many times throughout the program, I say, are you making more money? Yeah, tell me what you're doing. One of the hairdressers, I said to her, are you using your mirror yet in the salon? She said, no, I'm not. She said, I work in New York and it's too intimidating. I said to her, right, after me, say, I love my mirror. She went like this. I love my mirror. I went, no. Say it again, bolder. I love my mirror. I said, no, that's still not going to work. Now, if you want power, if you could all follow me right now, unless you're driving, if you put your finger on just in this region here, right, just there, and you feel it down, feel where your energy is. So if you're looking over your client, feel that energy, it's down. Now, all we've got to do is that. Lift your sternum up. Collapsed, low, sternum up. All you're doing is shifting this part of you up. So I said to this beautiful lady, I said, lift yourself up and say, I love my mirror. She went, I love my mirror. And I said, you got to design into the mirror. You're getting lost in the technique. You can't see the big picture. No wonder when your client leaves the salon, you're disappointed. You never looked. Your mirror is a tool. So we stop when we're doing work. We look in our mirror. We stop. We walk around our work. If I want to change your behavior, I've got to change it 1% at a time. So that when you go back into the salon, I say, like, measure the face this week. That's all you're doing. Or if I say, right, play with partings this week. That's all you're doing. That's not a big stretch. You're not going to run behind by me asking you to do a baby step. I'm not bombarding you with so much stuff that you go, oh, it's too much, Viv, I can't do it. No, I'm not doing that. And everything you do is recorded. So if you want to watch something over and over again, you can, which is the exciting thing. So I hope tonight's been helpful. I hope you enjoyed my little demonstration. Go out and get your needle. And for any of you who are senior senoritas, this is the way to go. I mean, it doesn't come bigger than that, right?
That's funny.
It is. Get your elastic thread. Michael's Craft Store, for those of you who live in the United States, will do it. And just say to yourself, I'm going to invest in me. I'm going to join Viv and her team, and I just want to go from good to great. And I just say thank you so much, Carmen, for being here, Cindy, Oksana, Helen, Stephanie, Christ, and Margaret, and The list goes on. Thank you so much, guys, for being here tonight. I hope you found some value. Sarah, thank you so much for being here this evening. A parting message of inspiration to our friends.
You had a slide that said in 10 years, where will you be? Will you still be stuck, or will you be where you want to be? And I really feel like in your program, that 1 year added so much more to my life than any other training that I have done in my life. And I'm so grateful for it. And I think it's the gift that we can give to ourselves is by taking that leap of faith and doing something different than we have done before.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Well, Sarah, it's been an honor and a pleasure. I'm super excited about what we're going to do when we work together in New York on your photographic collection. We have a big surprise for you tomorrow where you're going to flip. So super exciting.
Okay.
Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate that you were with me tonight instead of Netflix. I appreciate it. I appreciate that you're depositing into your own life, into your own values. That you can watch the recording of this. Please share this with your friends. Please share this with other salons. We will be stronger if we're united, and we'll be stronger if we raise the standard together. And we need to do that. We need to do that for our profession. So we are worth it. We should be charging more, and we need our clients to fall more in love with us. I gave you the strategy tonight. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Sarah, once again.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful evening. Bye, everybody.
Bye.